So today we're going to look at graphing ordered pairs, and the reason this fits in this unit is because we're talking about negative numbers, and so we want to see where do negative numbers fall on a graph, and can we use those numbers to plot coordinate points or ordered pairs onto that graph in the correct spot. So if you kind of look at the first question, I want to jump right in, but we have to tell what point is located at each ordered pair. So pair means two, ordered pair are these two numbers, and they have a specific designation. The first number is your x, the second number is your y value. And if you look at the graph, we've got an x-axis left to right, and we've got a y-axis up and down. So let's put that right here. Our x tells us left to right, and our y, tells us the up and the down, or the vertical. Okay, so when I look at the first one and it's positive 6 and negative 5, the 6 is my left to right, and if you look at the x-axis, as I go left, there's negatives, and I go right, there's positives. So on this graph, it's nice because the numbers are actually on it, but they don't have to put the numbers on the graph. We need to know that going to the left is negative, going to the right is positive, just like a number line. So positive 6 as my x means I'm going to the right 6, and then negative 5 on my y, positive goes up on the y-axis, negative goes down. So if I'm already at 6 on the x and I go down 5, I'm at letter M. So this is letter M. Another name for ordered pair is a coordinate. And then when I actually plot that coordinate on the graph, that's called a point. Good vocabulary to have. So number 2, I've got positive 9, positive 9. So if I find that on the graph, the first is my x, 9. The next is my y, 9. So this is letter V. Number 3, negative 6, positive 1. Negative 6 is my x, so since it's negative, I'm going left up to S because it's up 1. Negative 4, 7 is left 4, up 7. So left 4, up 7. There's a bunch up here, so be careful. It's W. And why don't you pause the video and then try the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and see if you can get those without me. Okay, so check your answers. Make sure you got those. Now, before we move on, we need to know the quadrant that each one of these is located in. You will see this on the test, the quadrant. So it's broken up into 4 pieces by the axis, this entire graph into 4 pieces, and that's why it's called a quadrant. And you see that word right here. Quad meaning 4 pieces. All right, so our piece of the graph we use most often is up here because that is our positive and positive value. So when I have positive everything, this up here is quadrant number 1. And in Roman numerals, it looks like an I. And we actually rotate around here counterclockwise to count our quadrants. So this is 1. This up here is quadrant 2, which looks like this with Roman numerals. And then we continue our way around. This is quadrant 3. And then finally down here, quadrant 4. So quadrant 3 is where I have all negatives. Negative x, negative y. And then these two have one of each. All right, so this will be on the test. Now, if you see something that is located on an axis, it is not in a quadrant. So H is in quadrant 1. W is in quadrant 2. E is in quadrant 3. M is in quadrant 4. If I asked what quadrant is letter N in, you would say none. Not in a quadrant. Okay? It is on an axis. So you could tell me it's on the x-axis, but if I say what quadrant, you say not in a quadrant or none. Don't tell me that it's in 1 and 4. It's not in both of them. It's actually in neither one. So if it's on the axis, it's not in a quadrant. It has to be fully inside the square to be in a quadrant. So as we slide down here, we want to write the ordered pair for each given point. So we're going to find these letters on the graph and write the ordered pair. So letter F. If I can find letter F. There it is. Okay, so letter F's right here. So the first number is my y, my x, my left to right. So to get to F, I'm going left 1, so that's negative 1. And I'm going down 7, so that's negative 7. So you can do it from 0, left 1, down 7, or just line it up. Where does this line up with the x? Negative 1. Where does this line up with the y? Negative 7. So letter G, all the way up here. The x is 8, the y is 9. That's where it lines up, 8 and 9. So it's 8, comma 9. You do need the parentheses around it. So don't just put 8, comma 9. Make sure you put the parentheses around the ordered pair. H is right here. So on my x, that's over 2, positive 2, up 6. So it's 2, 6. And then letter L, right here, negative 2, positive 7. So pause the video and try the last 4, and we'll see how you do. So check your answers. Let's look at Z, 0, negative 3. So just be careful. A lot of people, when it's on an axis, will get the incorrect answer. They'll put negative 3, 0. They'll mix them up. But where does this line up with the x-axis? Is at 0. It doesn't line up at negative 3, positive 3, or anything like that. It lines up at 0. So the x value is 0. It doesn't go left or right from this middle piece. Now this middle piece here is called the origin. So let's put an arrow to somewhere we can write. 0, 0 is your origin. So going from the origin, it does not go left or right. It just goes down. So my left or right is 0, and then my down is 3. So last part here down at the bottom, plot the following point. So now we want to put the point itself on the graph. So negative 5, positive 6. So I'm going left 5, up 6. I'm going to put my point. I'm going to label it. That's letter I. This should help you a lot when you get to your extra credit. This is all we do on the extra credit is we put these points, connect the dots, you create a picture, and you get free points on your test. So no reason you shouldn't be doing those. So 18, R is negative 3, positive 4. So my X is negative 3, my Y is positive 4. So it's left 3, up 4. Left 3, up 4. Make sure you're labeling. 2, 9. Is letter A, and negative 2, 9 is letter J. You try the last 4. Pause the video, try the last 4. Make sure that you are labeling each point. Don't just put a dot on the graph. You got to have the letter there to label it. If all your answers are good, you can flip this over. Try and do the same thing on the other side using the new information. And then check your answers on the sideboard. We will continue this on Thursday when I get back, if you don't have enough time to finish this today.